Hi, I'm Roman, and I'm going to show you all the steps I took to restore heavily oxidized gel coat on my 30-year-old boat. My first step was to wash the boat. My second step was to decon the gel coat, where I used an iron remover to remove the iron embedded into the gel coat. Here you'll see in the photo where I spray the iron remover, it starts turning purple anywhere it finds iron, and then before it dried, I just hosed it off. My third step was to clay bar the gel coat. My fourth step, I wet sanded to remove the oxidation. I followed that up with step 5, which is polishing the gel coat. Step 6, to remove any oils or anything left behind from the polished, I used a panel prep to clean the surfaces. And of course, my 7th or last step will be to put on a protectant, a coating, sealant, or wax. After wet sanding, iron removal, and clay barring, I'm going to now get ready to wet sand the boat. Depending on how heavily oxidized the gel coat is, will determine what grade or coarseness of wet sandpaper you will need. In this instance, I'm starting off with a grit of 1000. I'm wetting it with I have water in the bucket with a few drops of Dawn soap, and you can see I'm moving in one direction. The opposite side of the boat was much more heavily oxidized, so I started off with a grid of 800. So you want to keep the sandpaper wet and keep moving in the same direction back and forth. Now when you're starting off with your coarseness level of sandpaper, you'll want to feel the gel coat, and you only want to remove that rough grittiness. Once that's removed, don't go any farther. You don't want to remove any gel coat, just the oxidation. I've been cleaning off in between each course of sandpaper to work with a clean surface. Now now that it's smooth and I have removed that really coarse feeling oxidized gel coat, I went up from 1000 to 1500, and I am wetting it, and you can see I'm moving in an opposite direction. And I'm doing this so I don't create sanding marks, so that it will be removed easily. And we'll alternate directions every time we change to a different grid of sandpaper. In this instance, I'm going up to 2500 grit sandpaper. On the opposite side, I did go to 3000. I even tried 5000, but I'm going to stop at 2500 and then we'll polish off the 2500 grit sandpaper marks when I'm finished sanding with a polish. Now that I have finished wet sanding, the gel coat looks 100% better. It's smooth, we have gloss, it's shiny, but there are still fine sanding marks in the gel coat from wet sanding. So to remove those and get that extra shine, gloss, and pop, we will need to polish the gel coat. You can use a polish with a hand applicator and do it by hand. In this instance, I'm going to use a dual action polisher with the polishing pad and polishing compound to remove those fine sanding marks to increase our shine and gloss. Now that I have finished polishing to remove the sanding marks, I'm going to use a panel prep. You could use like isopropyl alcohol to remove any oils or anything that may have been left behind from your polishing compound. We want to make sure that the surface is completely clean for whatever sealant, coating, wax that you may be applying at the end. This way they have the best chance of sticking to the gel coat. Now I will grab the camera and move in to show you the area that I did not polish but only wet sanded, and I'll kind of point to it. You can see that duller section right there where I didn't polish, only wet sanded. That's not wet sanded, this is wet sanded. And down below over here, even though it's shiny, it's not quite the same as where it was polished. And of course this section down here was not polished or wet sanded. Starting to look pretty good. Now got the rest of the boat to do. Once I'm done wet sanding the entire boat and polishing, this will be my last step, 7, which will be to apply a professional coating from pdcdetailing.com. The PDC 6 Plus is a 6-year coating. Can't wait till I have a chance to apply it, and I'm done. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps you with your boat, and have a great day.